to get super interesting. I'll tell you that.
Okay,
So, all right, guys, I'm ready whenever y'all are.
let's go.
Let's go.
All right, YouTube, what is going on? This is Mike in the house, and I have three special guest stars. To my right, this is Rayshard Lamar Butler.
What's good?
To my bottom, we have Try Light Skin Jordan Bow.
That's good.
And to my other right, um, it's my boy Reg.
What's up with y'all?
And today we're going to do a continuation of our top 100 movies, our picks of the top 100 movies of all time. And my list has just got more interesting. So, without further ado, I'll go first this time. Rashawn, you can go second. Um, Try, you can go third. Reg, you can
All
go
right,
fourth.
cool.
Okay.
All right. So my number 79, and this one should be a little bit high on the list, but the more I think about it, I'm like, eh. I like the first one. I like the first movie a lot better. It is The Godfather Part Two.
Mm.
Mm.
Um. Well, when I saw it recently, the one thing I liked about is it did divide into like two stories. You know what I mean? You have like the story of young Vito Corleone, who's played by Robert De Niro, who received his first Oscar win. Um, and then you have like kind of like the continuation of the first one. But yeah, the one thing I liked about it is it did divide into two stories, and this one was like a little bit over 3 hours long, I think, or 2.5, 3 hours, whatever the case may be. Um, but yeah, this is definitely a good one. This I will say this is way better than the third Godfather. So yeah, try to avoid the third one. So yeah, um, Godfather Part Two is my number 79.
My mine's is A Boy Named Charlie Brown.
Mm.
Yep. And this is a very, very good film. And this one is all about Charlie Brown and how it tells a story about who he is as a person, which explores his positives and his negatives, and how life just seems very hard for him. But he never stops to fail. He always jumps back and tries to do the best he can, despite life always, you know, making it hard for him. And one of my favorite scenes is the scene where him and Linus were studying for the spelling bee, and it transitions into this musical, which is very dope. So that's my 79. A boy named Charlie Brown.
That's what's up.
Yep.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
I my 79 is the original Fright Night.
Ooh.
Yes. What was that from 85? I think that was.
Yeah.
With a starring Chris Sarandon, who played the vampire that moves in next door to Charlie on his block, and all kind of Charlie suspects that his neighbor was a vampire, but he couldn't prove it, and he had to prove it. He was telling his friends at school. He told Evil. He told his girlfriend. They didn't believe him. He met the professor guy on TV with the late night show, and he didn't believe him at first, and then eventually during the movie, things start to happen, and they start believing that like Charlie isn't crazy like we thought. Like there really is a vampire next door living to him, and I loved it was like a comedy, and I loved the makeup for the vampire, and it was great. It's a movie I always watched. It was hilarious. It was scary at times. And it was great. That's definitely a classic. I don't think the reboot was good with Colin Farrell. I hated it. Didn't like it. It didn't remind me of the original. So, and I hope they never touch it again because the other sequels they have for it was garbage. They don't need a sequel for that. It was a better as a standalone film, and it's one of my favorite all-time horror comedies. So, it's Fright Night.
That's a dope pick.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, dope picks for you guys. My number 79 is the Spike Lee classic Mo Better Blues.
Yes.
Yes, man. It stars Denzel, Wesley Snipes, Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying? It pretty much is a movie about this trumpeter named Bleak and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And he loves his music so much. It's like an in a glimpse of how his music and his personal life just coincide with one another. Branford Marcellus Quartet, they did the score for this movie and everything like that too. And I gotta show y'all something. I don't think I showed a lot of y'all this though, but I was so much a fan of this movie. I do got the soundtrack. I do got the soundtrack and shit like that too. But I'm gonna find it. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, I'm gonna find it later. It's not important, but yeah, this is definitely a classic movie. I love the score and everything like that too. Spike Lee, early Spike Lee movies was always some of my favorites and shit. I mean, his discography. I mean, not discography, but filmography is very good though. But just those early Spike Lee movies up until like 94, 95 are my favorites and shit.
That's a very dope pick. My number 78. I'm gonna have to go with the Fast and the Furious, the first one.
The best one.
Yeah, this one, this one barely made it on my top 100 list, to be honest. At first, but when I rewatched it, and mind you, this was 2001. This came out 2001, where movies were still decent. I actually appreciated it a lot more than the sequels, and it didn't go over the top. It stuck to the origin of street racing. It made careers out of Paul Walker, like despite him like doing other things before this one. Vin Diesel and Jordana Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez. And, it had a good story. Yeah, this is definitely a movie that I could watch over and over, and I just love the story. I like the fact that it just didn't go over the top. It didn't really use CGI or like explosions and stuff like that, and it didn't. It didn't need like muscular men in like a fight scene and breaking down the walls and all that garbage. So yeah, I love it.
My 78, I'm gonna go with the horror comedy, the Japanese film House. And this is a film where it's very trippy, it's psychedelic, it's also very hilarious, very over the top, but it's a simple story about which has this fairy tale Snow White and the Seven Doors type of feel to it, where seven girls go to one of the girls' aunt house, but they don't. But they also realize that the house is haunted, and this is not your standard American haunted house tale. This is more on the lines of people getting eaten, like people getting devoured by pianos. Um, this weird aunt demon who haunts the girls, who is also accompanied by her white cat, who's also like a witch. And the visuals, while they're cartoonish and while they may seem campy, that's like the whole intent of the film, because the director Nobuhiko Obayashi, he wanted the film to be like that because it's from the perspective of a child. So it's essentially a child's nightmare, but it's done in a way that is both hilarious yet also bizarre to watch. So yeah, that's my number 78, House or Hausu.
Dope.
Text me the name of that movie, Ray Sean. That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right. 78 for me is Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Beetlejuice is 78 for me. And you know, this was one of those movies that I grew up watching as a kid, and just you know, seeing Michael Keaton as this, like, I don't even know what to call him, not a demon. He was just like a character in itself, and you know, the makeup was phenomenal, and the sets and the costumes, and you know, Gina Davis was in that, Alec Baldwin, you know, Winona Ryder when she was younger, and it was just an ensemble cast that was great, and you know, just telling this story of this friendship that, you know, happened with Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder's character and everything that went on with it, and we getting a sequel this year. I can't wait. Like, I definitely want to see it. I hope it's good, because it's been years. I feel like this generation now don't know who Beetlejuice is. If you didn't grow up on the movie, or they even had a cartoon.
Yeah, they get on that they use it on Fox Kids.
Yeah, they had a cartoon I used to watch, and
Okay.
I hope they do the sequel justice and really don't reboot it, but you know, try to connect it to the original story and introduce it to a new fan base, a younger audience. And I felt like it could have used a couple of sequels, especially like for Beetlejuice character and his backstory, and you know, Tim Burton is one of my favorite directors of all time. I love his dark, you know, eerie look of his films, and you know, this was a classic, man. It's been a long time since I saw it, and you know, I had to put it on this list.
I don't think I've watched that one.
You never saw Beetlejuice?
No,
You've never seen Beetlejuice?
not
What?
the movie. No,
Never seen it at all. No,
I
you don't.
never.
Come on, bro.
If I did, it was a long. I don't remember seeing it.
Wow.
I don't honestly. I don't remember seeing it. If I did, I probably watched it for a hot second, and I just
You got to see that.
I
Man.
have
That's a
the I,
Yeah,
classic.
that's one of the best films of the 80s.
I do have the movie though. I have it, so I'm gonna tap into it.
Yeah.
I remember it being on ABC Family as well, but before.
That is a great film
Yeah.
for sure.
Even the cartoon was pretty good too.
Yeah,
The
cartoon.
I've seen, yeah.
Nice fucking muscle.
That's actually one of the few cartoon movie adaptations I find that I find entertaining. But yeah. So my number 78. This is a fucking classic. It's Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder with Stir Crazy. Directed by Sidney Poitier before he did trash like Ghost Dad. You know?
Ghost Dad.
So you know, this is a movie about these two unemployed friends who have a life sentence to prison after being framed for a bank robbery. very controversial movie. You know, there's a scene where Gene Wilder's character has to act black, so he puts blackface on and shit like that too, while he's in the prison. You know what I'm saying? Very funny. You know, whenever you have Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor together, you know, it's always a comedic masterpiece and stuff like that too. You know, yeah, definitely a favorite of mine. Oh, even Richard Pryor became the first black actor to earn $1 million for a single film with this role too. So
That's awesome. All right. So my number 77. This is gonna be a little controversy, but The Golden Child.
Yes, that's on my list too.
I'm
never
a,
seen it.
You never seen the Golden
never seen
Yo,
Golden
what's wrong
Child?
with y'all, bro? How do y'all want to do a movie list and y'all haven't seen half of these movies?
Because I want to get into some new movie. That's why.
You've never seen the Golden Child?
No.
Eddie Murphy is like one of your favorites. You've never seen the Golden Child?
Well, Denzel was one of my favorites. I've never seen every movie from him. So
Yo, that is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, no. The Golden Child. It had Big Trouble in Little China vibes. I'm not gonna
Yes.
hold you, and it
Yeah.
came out that same year too.
Mhm.
The soundtrack of this movie, I love the soundtrack of this movie. I'm not gonna hold you too. Um, yeah, this was one of I think one of Eddie Murphy's most underrated movies,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, this was a good action sci-fi. Is it a sci-fi?
Yeah,
Yeah, sci-fi and
horror.
yeah, horror. So yeah, Golden Child. Watch it.
Number 77. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So number 77 for me is Don Bluth's very first film that came out in the 80s, and it's The Secret of Nim.
Ooh,
oh shit.
Yep. 1982.
wow.
One of his best films, and the one in a film that if you love dark fantasy films, that you will love this film. Like, it has everything from action, it has drama, adventure. There's also elements of suspense, horror, and thriller, with and with touches of humor as well. Thanks to thanks to the legendary Dom DeLuise, who played Jeremy the Crow, and the whole film is very dark. For the most part, it's very dark, where it tells the story about this field mouse named Miss Brisby, and and she has to find out the whereabouts and all the mysteries that surrounds the Secret of Nim. Basically, the whole animal testing, and also the fact that she has to protect her family, especially her youngest son Timmy, who has pneumonia, so he can't get out of bed. So she's on a journey to save her family before her home is destroyed.
That's a dope pick.
Yeah, and similar to the Black Cauldron, which also was PG, was also PG. The Secret of Nim was also G rated, despite some of the stuff that's happening in that film. But again, that was just back in the day when animation was on the rise of um, pushing the boundaries of what kids films can do. So yeah, very good, very dope film. That's 77, The Secret of Nim.
Nice.
77 for me is the movie Beach Street.
Whoa.
And yes, Beach Street from '84. And I recently saw. I used to watch this when I was younger, but it was years, and I watched this again on Tubi last year. It's Tubi. Tubi had they got some hip hop movies. They got Beach Street. They got Electric Boogaloo and all that. And I like let me watch Beat Street again, and it was a great hip hop film, and Ray Dawn Chong, she plays a composer and choreographer for this show that she got, and like she wants to put these young cats from the Bronx on TV because they can break dance, they can rap, they got their own. This is like early hip hop culture going on in the '80s, and she wants to put them on TV, but she feel like they're not ready yet, and you got like two brothers, Lee and Guy, and Ramon is like their graffiti artist friend, and they're heavily into the hip hop culture, and they want to showcase their talents on TV, and they have like different things going on in their personal lives that they touch on in the movie, and you got like a all-star cast in this film. Ray Dawn Chong, and you have Kadeem Hardison. Young Kadeem Hardison was in this film. You got Dougie Fresh was in this film. Cool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, Tanya Pinkins. She was she was in Above the Rim. She played the mother. I think she played the mother for Dwayne Martin's character. She was in that. You got Kumo D, Melly Mel, Joseph C. Phillips. He played Martin on the Cosby Show.
Yeah,
His dad. He was also in this. So he played like a young breakdancer. Crazy Legs, the actual breakdancer from the Rocksteady crew. He's in this. A lot of people in the hip hop community was in this. I just thought like it was just a great hip hop movie that people need to see. And I love those old school 80s films, that was dedicated to hip hop. Like Crush Groove was another one. I mentioned Electric Boogaloo, and they were just it was still hip hop early at that time, but like the stories they created around the culture was just great. So that's my number 77.
I remember seeing that like several years ago. I want to revisit that.
Yeah, it's on Tubi now. It's on Tubi.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Surprising choices. I was not expecting Beat Street. I've seen bits and pieces of Beat Street, I think, on YouTube. I think it was on the Kumo D scene and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? But my number, I know Ray Sean's gonna love this one right here. My number is 77. I gotta go with The Incredibles, the first one.
Dope film.
Okay.
If it next to the Toy Story 1 through 3, this is actually my favorite Pixar movie. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was a kid, I first saw this movie, and it was me and my cousin who saw it. We were just so fucking into the movie. I actually bought the video game first. Then I went to go see the movie because I showed y'all the video game when the video game collection a couple weeks ago. I do feel like it's a great game. It's actually kind of hard in some parts, which I wasn't expecting that, but you know what? I love a good challenge. So it's a very complex story. So it tells a story about these superheroes, Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. You know what I'm saying? There was the whole city and the whole world was like run by superheroes, but then there was like a lot of issues and a lot of destruction that some villains cause and whatnot too. So the superheroes have to go into hiding. And so Mr. Incredible is like who goes by the name Bob Parr. He was going through like a midlife crisis because he wants that life back. So he actually goes on a secret mission, which ends up having like a lot of twists and turns and everything. And it's kind of crazy too, you know what I'm saying? Because this was actually written and directed by Brad Bird. And pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, I think he also did work on the Iron Giant. Yeah. Which that's a very underrated movie.
Yes, Iron Giant. I remember Iron Giant.
Yeah, definitely.
Never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, Iron Giant. Iron Giant, I never seen. Incredibles, I saw that in theaters. I remember that.
Did you see Iron Giant?
No, I remember when it came out though.
Right.
You remember when it came out?
Yeah.
But you didn't.
No, I'm not big on animated films. Like there's only certain animated films I watch, not everything.
I know. I'm just messing with you. So this movie stars like Craig T. Nelson. All my sitcom fans, he played Coach.
Coach,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything like that. Which I never liked that show. To keep it a buck with you, you know what I'm saying? Never liked that show. Then we have Holly Hunter was also in the movie and stuff like that. Sarah Vowell, Samuel Jackson, of course. How can I forget him? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? The sequel is very good too. I definitely got to talk about the sequel at some point. It's been years since I've actually seen the sequel, but that's my number 77.
That's a dope one.
Yeah.
All right. My number 76, I'm have to go with Claudine.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
One of the best movies of the 70s. Diane Carroll, um, James Earl Jones, and Lawrence Hill and Jacobs. Um, this particular movie, it's like it's a romantic comedy drama. I love the scene like towards the end where Lawrence Hill Jacobs' character tells Diane Carroll's character that the sister's pregnant and all that stuff. I love that scene. That well acted. This is a well made. I don't think this movie gets talked about a lot. If I remember, I know I think Diane Carroll. I think she got an Oscar nomination for this role, which is well deserved. James L. Jones, I think he got a Golden Globe nomination, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves.
Wow.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, I thought he should have got major awards too. I thought he was great in this one. That and Cooley High. So, yeah, I love this movie.
Number 76 for me is Stand By Me.
Ooh,
Mm.
yes.
Yep, 1986. Another very great film, and also one of Stephen King's more quieter, more intimate films compared to the more horrific, brutal films that he or books that he's known for, like It, Cujo, Misery. With this film is this film touches on nostalgia and how four young boys just go on a simple hiking trip to find a dead body, and it's also it's also very funny in some areas. It's also very dramatic, very serious. It touches on many things such as abuse and uh, and two how four boys come to terms with the situations that they're in, especially when they find find the body and everything. And yeah, it's a very dope film and very good casting from River Phoenix, Will Wheaton. Love this film. That's Stand By Me.
Dope. Excellent. Excellent pick.
76, I got White Man Can't Jump, the
Ooh.
OG from 92. Love that film. It has a nice mix of basketball culture with playground ball culture with hip hop, and Wesley Snipes plays Sydney, and Woody Harrelson from one of Reg's favorite shows, Cheers, plays Billy.
I mean,
And
you like two episodes too, but okay, I'll keep it my mouth shut.
that's your show. That's your
I
show.
know that's my show,
I
but
can't compete with what's it like 9 seasons? I can't compete. 2 episodes can't
11,
compete with 9 seasons.
11 seasons,
11.
270 episodes.
Yeah, only 2 episodes is nothing compared to 11. But he's a great actor. You know what I'm saying? And just like telling the story of how like Billy was strapped for cash and he owed like loan sharks money, but he knew how to play ball, and he linked up with Sydney and who was black, and they started playing playground games for money, and they started winning, and got into a tournament. Meantime, Billy's girlfriend, Gloria, played by Rosie Perez, she was like into Jeopardy, the game show, and she knew like all the questions, and she was studying to get on that game show. And I just thought like it was just a great, film of like people, two races that probably wouldn't have been friends any other time, but they came together playing basketball on the playgrounds in California on Venice Beach, and they became friends and started winning money to help Billy's like gambling problem whatever he had, and what's crazy is like Woody Harrelson's character from this movie is similar to the character he played in Money Train, because in Money Train character, or he owed money also. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was weird. I'm like, he's playing another movie where he's playing where he owes money to, and it was good. I liked the movie, and they had a nice soundtrack. Cypress Hill was on the soundtrack, and what's that group? Main Source was on the soundtrack. They had a song called
that song. Yes,
Faking the Funk was like the first single from the soundtrack for that, and it was great. I don't like the reboot. The reboot came out last year with Jack Harlow and the black dude that played Sean from Power. He played King's son. He got killed off.
Yeah, Don Cornelius too.
Huh?
He played Don Cornelius on American Soul too.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know he played Don Cornelius. But he was on early years of Power. But stick to the original one from '92 was classic, and it was hilarious. You also had the girl that was in Boys in the Hood that played Sydney's wife. I forgot her name. She played Trey, not Trey. She played Doughboy's mom, Doughboy and Ricky.
I know who you talking about.
Yeah, she was the wife of Sydney in this movie. So classic movie.
Definitely. Number 76, I got to go with Set It Off.
That's dope.
Yes, man. Stars Jada Pinkett, Queen Latifah, Vivica A. Fox, and Kimberly Elise in her first acting role. You know what I'm saying? It stars four friends who pretty much want a better life for each of their situations. So they developed a scheme to rob banks just to have a good life. But then it also touches on police brutality too, because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Everybody except Cleo really had a fucked up shit. Jada Pinkett's character Stoney, she lost her brother to a mistaken identity, and you had Elise, TT. TT, Kimberly Elise's character TT. She needs money because CPS took her child to custody, and then, in my opinion, the MVP, Vivica A. Fox, Frankie. If you guys saw in the intro, pretty much Dub C robbed a bank. Yeah, Dub C, he played a bank robber. He robbed a bank, and she actually knew him, but she didn't want to report. She didn't want to report it because she didn't want to write out her friend.
Right.
Honestly, and then Cleo, she was just a savage. She just wanted to do it just to fucking do it. Honestly, like I said, I know a lot of people say Queen Latifah did a thing. As much as I love Queen Latifah, I felt like Vivica A. Fox carried this movie, in my personal opinion, and shit like that too, because she definitely you saw her slowly transition into more controlling and more power hungry and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying? And no one really talks about that in the movie, because it's always most of the discussion you see Queen Latifah's character, Jada Pinkett's character, and stuff like that too, but no one really talks about Vivica A. Fox's clever portrayal in that movie. And this is a movie I personally feel definitely is like one of the first movies to really touch on police brutality when it comes to Black women as well too. Because the scene when TT dies always makes me angry, no matter how many times I watch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So very dope movie. Love it. The soundtrack is very good too. I definitely have to talk about the soundtrack at some point. So wait, I think we did. No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't.
And Vogue, Don't Let It Go.
Mm.
their best and their last great song.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once Dawn left, it was a wrap.
I'm
I
a,
like the song. I like the song. Too Gone Too Long. To me, that's a good song too. Too Gone Too Long.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie. When I saw it, I didn't like it. I didn't care for it.
Oh man.
I everybody say Queen Latifah was great. I thought it was worse than that movie. I didn't
What?
care. I didn't
Wait,
care
wait, wait.
for that at all. I
You,
just did
you
not.
said what?
I thought she was horrible in that movie.
Oh my
I
lord.
did not care
Hot
for
take.
it. I didn't like her in that.
Oh man.
You're not the first one that said that, Mike.
Oh,
believe
never
me.
mind.
Like what? Like what was so? I thought she, to me, I thought she was really over the top.
But
And Jada Pinkett Smith, she was all right. I mean, I agree with you with Vivica A. Fox. I agree with that part. But I'm gonna rewatch it again because, mind you, I saw this when I was younger. So
right. But you
maybe
see the thing with Latifah, because you know at that time there was rumors back in the 90s that she was a lesbian, and she
right.
played it out on screen in that movie,
Yeah.
and she was like she went all out. She was like the villain almost, but it's almost like the way I look at Training Day with Denzel. He went all out and he was like the villain in that, and
Yeah.
that got him an Oscar. I think she should have got an Oscar for that role.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like she was good. Like she hasn't played a character like that since Set It Off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was believable. I'm like, yo, like Queen Latifah was a badass chick in this film.
It's either her, Jada Pinkett, or Vivica.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was a supporting actress,
Mhm.
definitely, but
Right.
lead actress either Jada or Vivica. But I see what you're saying.
Vivica, to me, that was her best role. Like she held it down because Jada was more. She was the leader, but it was like it wasn't really focused on her, like per se. It was more about the other, even the other girl, the girl with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like she had a good story too, right? And I felt like it was more about them than Jada, even though they focused on Jada because she was like the big name at that time. But I think Vivica Fox held it down. Like her character was strong.
Yeah, and 1996 was Vivica A. Fox's breakthrough year because that's the same year Independence Day came out too.
Right, facts.
All right. Let me ask y'all a question. Speaking of Denzel, let me ask y'all this. Do you guys think he deserved that Oscar win for Training Day?
Yes. I mean, he deserved more Oscars. He should have got one for the Hurricane. He should have got one for Malcolm X, especially.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but you know, I think because he went left field with this character that nobody expected,
Mhm.
and he was such a badass, they were like, yo, we got to give it to him. And for whatever reason, they gave it to him that year. But I think he really got robbed from Malcolm X. Malcolm X,
Yes.
he looked the part, he had his mannerisms, everything, and he didn't get it. But I definitely think that Training Day was a great film, and it's a film that I went to see when it first came out, and to me it was like a hurt film. I didn't expect it to get all these nominations and you know Golden Globes and all that, but he did his thing as a villain because again, like that's not a character that he normally played. He didn't play a villain,
Right.
and he nailed it, and I think that's what got him the Oscar.
Right. Looking back, and when I saw the Oscars, I was jumping up and down that he won for Training Day. I mean, he should have won in general. Like he got Malcolm X. That he had it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And who did he lose it to? I forgot who he lost it to.
It was Russell Crowe, right?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino?
See, Son of a Woman.
Oh, Son of a Woman. Damn.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. So you mean to tell me Al Pacino? You mean to tell me Al Pacino gave the better performance than Denzel? Al Pacino didn't do much in Son of a Woman. I mean, I get it. He played a blind guy. I get that. But Denzel he put his heart and soul research. That's enough said. And it was a Spike Lee film.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
he almost lost his hair when he got to do the perm and all that.
Exactly.
Hey, y'all. I'm sorry, I was on the phone, but what movie y'all talking about right now?
Training. Well, I was asking, did you think that Denzel should have won? Should deserve the Oscar win for Training Day? And then we went on to say that he should have won for Malcolm X.
Oh yeah, there's at least 3 other movies I feel like he should have won an Oscar for.
John Q. John Q was a great film that got overlooked. You know that if you ever saw it, like the story of like his boy needed like a transplant or something, a heart transplant.
Yeah,
he was willing to, like, he held the hospital hostage because I forgot if like he didn't have the insurance or something, and he was like, y'all gonna give me my boy a heart transplant, and that was a great film that got overlooked that year. I think it was like 2001 that came out.
Yeah, 2002.
2002. And I thought that was slept on. That should have been another nomination. Even if he didn't win, he should have gotten a nomination for that role.
Yeah, for movies like Philadelphia and Malcolm X. I mean, the Hurricane even come on.
The Hurricane, yep.
You know, He Got Game. He was great in that.
Yes, I love that.
I love that
another
movie.
One. He got robbed.
Yeah, and
honestly,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Tom Hanks did his thing, but Denzel was the heart of Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm gonna say one more thing. I felt like, maybe, and I don't know. I might get a lot. This is gonna cause some controversy. Granted, his nomination, it was well deserved. He did his thing in Training Day. I will say that. I felt like, to me, he should have got it for Malcolm X. And this one, I felt like they just gave it to him because that was just because they knew they fucked up for Malcolm X. To me, in my honest opinion, you know what I mean. If he didn't, if he won for Malcolm X, and if he got Oscar nomination, didn't get it for Training Day, I wouldn't be mad.
Right.
I wouldn't be pissed.
Right.
So, all right. Number 75 we're on.
Yeah.
Shaft, 1971.
Ooh.
Cool.
The soundtrack, enough said. Richard Roundtree, enough said. Action sequences, enough said. Directed by Gordon Parks Jr., enough said. Enough said.
Number 75 for me, James Wan's Dead Silence.
Ooh. Is that the horror film you talking about?
Yeah, Dead Silence.
Oh, that's underrated. I like that one.
Yeah. That's my favorite horror film. I even got the DVD for it as well. I saw it on DVD, and it was actually very scary, especially see with Mary Shaw.
Yeah.
The whole film is like, in summary, if you scream, you die, essentially. So basically, she shoots your tongue out, and she basically collects them. And in order for you to not, fall to death's door, you must not scream. You must keep your mouth closed when you see Mary Shaw. And the look of the film is very scary. Like, it's very atmospheric, and especially the scenes with all the dolls and digging into Mary Shaw's past, how she became the way she is. I think, to me, is a very dope, very slept on horror film, if you ask me.
It is.
So yeah, that's my 75. Dead Silence.
They need a sequel for that. I would love to see a sequel for that. Like with her backstory, because she was like a ventriloquist.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
she ended up getting killed or whatever, and then but her spirit was like coming back.
yeah. I think they touched on that in the film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did a piece of like her past and like how
yeah,
she like when she got killed and then she came back and she was killing off people and taking out they tongue and all that.
yeah,
And Donnie Wahlberg was in that also.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He also told his backstory, but he was a young boy. He
Yeah.
also saw Mary Shaw when she was in that theater with her
Right.
puppet Billy.
Yeah. And then he
And
got
she
killed
looked,
too, his
yeah,
character.
yeah, and she was actually scary. Like the way she looked was actually scary.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
always wanted to see a sequel for that. So hopefully at some point they get that. And don't reboot it. We don't need a reboot for that. Just
no,
give us a
no,
sequel or prequel and tell her backstory. That's what I would like to see.
yeah. So that's my number 75. Dead Silence.
Dope. Now 75 for me is one of the best sequels in this franchise. Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh wow.
I think I hear nobody talk about this sequel. It's always part one. It's part one a Christmas movie. Part two, they to love. They don't talk about part three with Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? And this is like really the only sequel in the franchise with a leading black man that's acting alongside Bruce Willis. And I thought this was a classic, and I think it's one of the best ones after part one. Like part two was good. I like part three more than part two.
Mm.
And just with that, with how after everything that happened in the first two films, and John McClane is back in New York City, and he's going through a divorce. He's an alcoholic. He's jobless. They actually kicked him off the force, but then they brought him back because his brother, the terrorist that was going around causing havoc in New York City in summer of '95. You had Simon's brother, Simon from the first film. He ended up dying. We know how he died off the Nakatomi building. His brother now, played by Jeremy Irons, comes in for part three, and he wants revenge on John McClane for killing his brother. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the film. John doesn't know what the hell is going on. He doesn't know who's the terrorist, and he finds out that it's Simon's brother that wants revenge on him, and he has to go through like a series of Simon Says, games around the city, and if he doesn't, for each mission, if he doesn't accomplish the mission, people die. And when he's up, he has one mission he has to do in Harlem, and Simon's brother tells him you have to walk around with this sign on your chest, and he's in Harlem, and he meets Zeus, and you have black people ready to kick his ass because he's a white man in Harlem, and he's saying, I think the song said I hate black people or something like that, and they become a team, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought like the chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis was great. I love the action, and it was just a great sequel for this franchise, and to me, it's the last great sequel in that franchise. Die Hard 4, I went to see Die Hard 4. It was not good. I don't like, because they tried to implement like the 2000s, Y2K, that whole Y2K thing that was going on. They put that and they had like a Y2K terrorist going on, and I think he put a bomb on the internet or some stupid like that. I didn't like part 4. I didn't like none of those other sequels. I think part 3 for this franchise was the last great one. And you also had Graham Greene. He was in this movie as well, and he's also currently on the Marvel Echo series that just came out on Tuesday night. And I think this is a classic sequel to Die Hard.
It's a dope choice.
Yeah,
very dope choice. Sorry about that. Just got distracted. So my number 75 is going to be a crazy pick.
Oh boy.
Tootsie, 1982.
I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad.
You said what, Try?
Dustin Hoffman as a drag queen. Wow. Okay, I
I'm
didn't
not
expect that.
I'm not mad about that. I respect that.
Hey, hey. The reason I'm mostly putting this movie is because it had one of the greatest endings in cinema history.
Okay.
But first of all, let me talk about what the movie's about first. So, Dustin Hoffman plays this actor who tries to get a gig, but at the same time, nobody wants to hire him because he's very difficult to work with. He's a perfectionist. We've all seen those types before. So he develops an idea to dress himself as a woman, and he gets his part in a soap opera, and he ends up falling in love with another girl that works there. Now, he goes through a lot of hijinks and everything. And the reason this movie is mostly on this list, it has one of the greatest endings I've ever seen in a movie. This guy is going through this monologue and everything, and he starts taking off his makeup, and then when he reveals himself to be a man, everybody loses their fucking mind. It's like it went from shot to shot to shot to shot. Everyone can dope. In my Family Guy, the thing that also put me on was Family Guy did an episode, I think it was like 2010, 2011, where Stewie dressed up like a girl to get a part and stuff like that too and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was a very funny episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Dustin Hoffman fan, but that's definitely probably my favorite movie from him.
Yeah, go Stewie, go.
You know there was other films that had that same storyline.
I know, but I like that movie.
You like that one
And
better?
that's why it's on this list.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that movie got some Oscar nominations too. I think that's a dope pick.
And one more thing, I just have to say this. You know how I feel about drags, especially when it comes to black men and shit like that. But the same shit y'all give black men, they need to get to white men. But that's another story for a different day. If y'all want to go that far. I'm not saying I'm gonna dress up in drag to get a movie or some shit like that. I'm just saying.
Thank God.
Yeah. Because the same motherfucker that criticized Martin Lawrence for dressing in drag are the same motherfucker that loved Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, which I love that movie.
I didn't like that.
Rest in peace, Robin
good.
Williams.
It's
Well,
good.
you didn't like Mrs. Doubtfire?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not a fan of like
What?
men dressing up in drag, and I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just those movies I stayed away from, like
Res-
the Wong Fu and all that. And
Respect.
You know well, I have like younger cousins that love it. I understand why they love it. It was iconic. I just wasn't a fan of that.
You do realize he was trying to do that to see his children, right?
Rest in
In
peace.
real life, he was trying to do that.
No, in the movie.
Oh, I might have seen it like once, but you know, it's been a long time.
I'm just joking with you, bro. You know.
Rest
You're
in
the
peace,
first one
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I'm-
That's the peak, Robin Williams. Yeah.
yeah, rest in peace.
Speaking of Dustin Hoffman, number 76 is The Graduate.
Oh,
Correction. My favorite Dustin Hoffman movie. That one.
Now, I saw this when I was younger. My mom introduced me to this movie. This is one of her favorite movies. It's about Dustin Hoffman. He gets seduced by this older woman. There was another movie that was kind of like that too. I think it was called Summer of '71 or something like that. I think it came out a little bit after. No, Summer of '41, something like that.
Ooh.
It came out that came out a little bit after this, but Dustin Hoffman, I thought he gives a great performance. It's a comedy, but it's also a drama too, and I love this movie. This is a very good. I have it on Blu-ray.
thanks.
My number
That's also
74.
on streaming too. That's also on Tubi.
Yeah.
My number 74, Home Alone.
Dope.
Okay.
Yep. Macaulay Culkin's best known film. And no introduction. Everybody knows this film. I know it. You know it. Everyone knows this film. Story about a boy who gets stuck at home alone. and he has to face these two burglars who try to break into his home. Very good film, very great critical film, a classic film, and just one of the best. Yeah, so that's number 74, Home Alone.
All right, 74 for me is another classic action film, Speed, with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock and Dennis Hopper. I love it. I think it was great. I think that movie like really after that the success of that movie had a lot of like wannabe type of speed films, and you had like Keanu Reeves' character. He's like a Los Angeles police officer Jack, and he goes after this retired bomb squad member, Howard, played by Dennis Hopper, and uh, Dennis Hopper's character was like the villain, and he planted a bomb on this like city bus, and that Keanu Reeves' character happened to be on, and then he meets Sandra Bullock's character, Annie, was also on that bus, and he basically he threatened, he wanted like money, but he threatened to blow up the bus if it go below 50 miles per hour. So um yeah, they have to drive the bus. Sandra Bullock's character ended up driving the bus. Forgot what happened to the bus driver, but she ended up driving the bus, and they have to go all around Los Angeles and figure a way while they're driving the bus, figure a way how they can stop the bombers attempt to kill these innocent people on the bus, and not give him what he was asking for, and I thought it was a great film for that time, and I've seen it so many times in '94 when it came out, and like I said, like there were movies after that use the same storyline, and most of the movie, when you look at it, most of the movie takes place on the bus until you get to like the last 10-15 minutes of the film where they have to go on a train, and he had like a showdown with the bomber on the train, on the city train, and just the stunts of that film was great. I love looking at the behind the scenes footage for that, and classic action film.
Dope picks, you guys. Dope picks. Um, my number 74 is Trading Places.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Well, many people don't know this was originally supposed to have been a movie with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, and
Yeah,
I could definitely have seen this as a movie, for them and shit like that. But I guess creative differences happened, so they had Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, two SNL alums, right here. It pretty much tells a story about how a rich broker and a street hustler trade lives to see what the other one lives upon and stuff like that too. This is definitely a classic movie. This is one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies of all time, and his chemistry with Dan Aykroyd was always unique. Dan Aykroyd always been one of my favorite and more unique SNL alums in my personal opinion. I felt like he always stayed consistent in whatever he does with his craft and everything. So this was definitely a favorite of mine.
that's an excellent pick.
Appreciate it, boss.
What we at? Number 70. What was it? 73.
Yeah, right now 73.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Classic. Okay, Dustin Hoffman love here. Okay.
The only gripe of that movie is Meryl Streep. I did not like her in this movie. I think she got an Oscar nomination. I didn't think she deserved it in this one. She's a great actress. She's a great actress. But I didn't think she deserved it in this one. I think she won. I didn't think she deserved to win. The two performances I think carried this whole movie was Dustin Hoffman and Justin Henry, who played his son. I think Justin Henry, he got robbed out of an Oscar win. in my honest opinion, um, Dustin Hoffman, he deserves his nomination, you know. But this is a very good. It's good, but it's kind of sad in a way. But it's a good movie, though. Powerful movie.
Number 73. Number 73. From I'm gonna go with South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Classic.
Nice.
Yep, one of my favorite animated musical comedies that just parodies the whole Disney Renaissance and how it satirizes censorship. And I just love how honest it is. Like, yes, it's offensive because it's South Park. It's meant to be offensive, but I love how it can tell a story, and it's also one of those films where it's very, very funny from start to finish. Like, there's no scene that I felt that was underwhelming, or there was no scene where I felt was kind of panning. Everything connected with the boys seeing this Terrence Phillip movie, the mothers, being helicopter parents trying to ban the movie by blaming Canada for it. It's starting a whole apocalypse with Satan. It's just like a very wild film, but one of the best wild films I ever seen. And thank
Yes.
you, and thank you, Trey Parker Matt Stone for creating this film.
Yep.
Dope.
You hit the nail on the head with this one, Rachel.
Yep.
Very dope.
73, I got Roadhouse, Patrick
Oh.
Swayze.
Oh.
Yes. My favorite Patrick Swayze film, Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott, Kelly Lynch. I think it was it's like poor white. I don't want to say poor white trash. It's like a white trashy type of film where it's like, Dalton. Patrick Swayze plays this club bouncer named Dalton. He's like a drifter. He goes. That's what he does. Like, they call him, if you're a club owner and you need help with your club and bouncing out the riffraff, you call Dalton, and he was a drifter, and that's what he did. And there's one club, they needed his help, and they called him in to change things, to change the environment, and one in the town that he was in, he came across Brad Wesley, played by Ben Gazzara. And Brad Wesley, like, he owned the town. He was a millionaire. People in the town was in favor of him, and he wanted things a certain way. And Dalton comes into town and cleans things up, and he didn't like that, and they had a feud. Along the way, Sam Elliott played Wade Garrett, which was like one of his friends, and he was also a bouncer from other clubs. And he comes into town to help him. He gets beat up by Brad Wesley's peoples, and Dalton, he met Kelly Lynch character, Elizabeth, and she was a nurse, and he had gotten stabbed or something, and she stitched him up. They fell in love, and this was a great film. Like, if you love bar fights and brawls, it's one of those films that the acting was cheesy as hell. Like, it didn't live up. It's not like a great acting at all. But I grew up watching the film, like, back when HBO used to show their Saturday night films. At 8 p.m. I watched this a lot growing up, and it's always been like one of my favorite, like, 80s, cheesy type of films. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a classic.
Yeah, that's also on my list too.
Yeah. And what's crazy? Like, I recently saw it in 4K. It looks so different in 4K now.
Oh, yeah.
Way different. You gotta watch it. Like, if you're accustomed to watching it on cable, you gotta watch it in 4K. And 4K looks like a totally different movie.
Yeah, because I have it on 4K.
Yeah.
from what was the Vinegar Syndrome.
Mhm.
Um, when I tell you they cleaned it up, it looks
Yeah,
so gosh doggone different.
definitely.
Oh my god! And like even the fight scenes, like
Yep.
wow,
Yeah,
like
you can see everything clearly. It looks like a brand new movie.
exactly.
I
Like
love
they
it.
cleaned it up, polished
Yeah,
it up,
for
loved
sure.
it,
For
loved
sure.
it.
Yep.
All right. Number 73 for me is The Five Heartbeats.
Nice.
Good one.
Yeah. Love this movie. This was pretty much, and this has some controversy in some part. This is pretty much an unofficial biopic on the Dells. 85% of it. Because ironically, The Five Heartbeats is not a real, it's not a real group and everything like that. It's just pretty much a fictional group. It was pretty much based on the Dells, but there's been controversy because there's over the years Robert Townsend would say it was mostly based on the Temptation and the Dells, but the OG Dell members said that it was pretty much them that it was based on, but that's besides the point. So it's pretty much told a story about this group that was has the like what's his name? Robert Townsend, Michael Wright, Leon, Tico Wells, and Harry J. Lennox. They made up the Five Heartbeats. It tells the story of them on a rise in the music business. Then they have shady music executives, drugs, alcohol trying to ruin their fortune. And then they pretty much have a rejuvenated culture, rejuvenated fan base, and everything like that, too. I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's pretty much an unsung episode before an unsung episode. Let's just keep it real. Um, shout out to my boy Kuji. We always love this scene when the executive nigga, what's his name? Big Red, played by the underrated Hawthorne James, whooped that motherfucker's ass because he asked for his motherfucking royalties and everything like that too. And little trivia, the scene where he got dangled over the balcony, that is said to have happened to Jackie Wilson in real life.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that was pretty much the Suge Knight Vanilla Ice incident before Suge Knight Vanilla Ice, but besides that's besides the point. Now, while I do love this movie, there's a few gripes I have to say about it, and one of the gripes has to be when they fast forwarded to the '70s, and it's like 1972. The music they have and the fashion is more '80s, like early to mid '80s, and the style was like they had like a lot of synths. That was kind of when I felt like it was kind of losing its luster. But as far as movies go, this is a cult favorite, one of Robert Townsend's best movies and stuff like that. When he's not making trash like Media Man
Oh
and
god.
whatnot too. Yeah, trash favorite movie.
Never. Straight trash.
Oh man. When what the Five Heartbeats, Michael Wright, man, the first character that comes to mind was Victor Duncan from Principal. I'm not gonna hold you,
Oh wow.
man. I'm Michael Wright though. He's he was great in that. He was great in that. In the Principal, like I think he's very talented. I thought he was overlooked, in my opinion.
Mhm.
All right, number 72. I'm gonna go left field with this one. Pretty in Pink.
Classic.
This was part of the Brat Pack movies. It has Molly Ringwald, Andrew McCarthy, John Cryer, James Spader, and this is pretty much about Molly Ringwald's character. She meets Andrew McCarthy's character, who's rich, and she's from like the kind of like the poor side of town and stuff like that. So they meet up, in school and stuff like that. Then they kind of, they fall in love, and then you have John Cryer, meanwhile, who's in love with Molly Ringwald's character. but Molly Ringwald doesn't see him that way. But you know, she only sees Andrew McCarthy, and then meanwhile you have James Spader telling Andrew McCarthy, "Oh, she's wrong for you." You know what I mean? Because she's from the wrong side of the tracks. You know what I'm saying? So, this was a definitely good movie. This was this was directed by John Hughes.
Nice.
Yep.
That's cool.
Number 72 for me is All Dogs Go to Heaven.
What?
Good one.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's not beating The Secret of Nim or American Tail, but it's still a enjoyable film for what it is. I like my biggest praise for it had to go to Anne Marie, who's played by Judith Barcy. She's like the very sweet young girl who's pretty much like the moral compass when it comes to Charlie when he's being Charlie like this con artist, and the whole film is about him trying to redeem himself so he don't fall into hell, essentially. While it's not the strongest film of Don Bluth, I say it's by far one, like, it's a enjoyable film. And Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and Judith Barcy all did a fine job voicing Charlie, Itchy, and Anne-Marie respectively. So, yeah, that's my number 72. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Recipes to all three of them.
All right, 72 for me is Reg's favorite film, Loving Basketball.
oh, get the fuck
Classic.
out.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you.
Get the fuck out.
Classic film. I love it. Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan, they play two childhood friends that grew up loving basketball, and then they end up playing basketball professionally. But we see like different stages of their life when they were from little kids to when they first met, and then when they become like in college, teenagers, and then in college, and Omar Epps' character is having some parental issues with him and his parents are like going through a divorce. His dad was a ball player, and he's getting ready for the draft, and he gets injured and tears his knee up, and we see him rehabbing and stuff, and gets drafted by the Lakers, out of USC, I think he played for, and then while they were at USC, they were still friends, but then they started dating and they had issues, and Sanaa Lathan's character Monica was playing for the USC women's team, and then she gets drafted by the WNBA, and she goes on and has a successful career, and I just thought it was like a great story of like a love story centered around basketball, and people either they don't like it or they love it, and they always remember the scene where Monica and Quincy end up playing each other on one-on-one basketball, and she plays him for his heart, which sounds corny, but
Because it is.
but I always thought it was a great love story, and it wasn't a hood film. This was a great black love story that we didn't have a lot of those. Most of them were like hood films that it was centered around a love story, but this is not a hood film. It's a great black cinema love story done by two A-list actors like Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan, and I thought it was great.
Well,
Yeah.
great choice.
Yes.
Great choice.
All right. Well, I want to talk about a much better movie. My number 72 is Hancock.
Oh my God!
What?
Will Smith? The Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
Hold up! But you think that was a great film over Loving Basketball?
What?
Wow!
It's not.
No.
It's not the most. It's not the most perfect movie.
That's not even the best Will Smith movie.
It's not the best Will Smith movie. But hear me out. Hear me out.
That honor goes to Men in Black. That's the best one.
Yeah. Well, his best.
I'm not
action,
mad about that.
I would say like between Independence Day and Men in Black.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I have to go with I Am Legend as my favorite Will Smith movie.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I remember I'm Legend.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Right.
I remember that film.
That was good.
That either that one or Pursuit of Happiness, but I can't watch Pursuit of Happiness now because that's too damn sad. But anyway, I like this movie because Will Smith was just an asshole in this movie.
He was.
The first 2/3 of the movie was great. The last third was when I can see why people did not like it too much. You know what I'm saying? It just tells a story about this superhero who was pretty much an alcoholic. Again, I have a lot of superhero movies in this episode.
I'm surprised because you don't like superhero films.
I never said I did not like. I like
You said
superhero.
you're not a fan of Marvel and DC like that, though.
No, I said I like DC. I just not a fan of Marvel. Like, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, right now I
But
wouldn't
I
be
see.
out because they dropping trash, but
Right.
They got my boy Jonathan Majors fantasizing about Coretta Scott King too and shit. Anyway, yeah, it stars Will Smith, Charlize Theron, Jason Bateman. Yes, my boy Jason Bateman, Hogan Family, Arrested Development. You know what I'm saying? That movie where he played a werewolf. What's that movie? He played like a werewolf or some
Teen
shit.
Wolf 2?
Teen Wolf 2, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this was a very cool movie. They were going to make a sequel of this, but I don't think that's going to happen now.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were.
I don't want it to happen.
They shouldn't. That movie was bad. I went to see that on July 4th of that year when the movie came out, and it was bad. It was bad. And I got caught in a rainstorm. So thank you very much, Will Smith.
At top 10 Will Smith movie in my opinion.
That is not a top 10 Will Smith. What?
Top 10 Will Smith movie in my opinion.
That is not a top 10. He wouldn't even pick that. You're crazy.
Well, there's a lot of movies I won't pick from Will Smith, but that's another story.
Oh man. My number 71. I'm gonna have to go with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh my god.
That's a great film.
Hey, that's
You don't like that film, Rich? Oh my god! But you like Hancock. Make that make sense.
I just never saw the hype with it.
You're crazy.
Look, this movie, written by Kevin Williamson, who directed Scream. It stars Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and
My girl Kendall.
yeah, Kendall. Yep, from All My Children. Ryan Phillippe. Oh, who was also in One Life to Live, by the way.
Oh, you soap opera invented this damn movie.
What? This is a life after soaps. They put when the WB came out, they put a bunch of WB like young actors together in one
Oh
movie.
god.
but yeah, this is a slasher movie. This just came out. It came out in 4K late last year. This was a good movie. You know, this was good. This is a good like slasher. Like even though most of the critics trashed this movie, but I loved it for what it was. You know what I'm saying?
It was good.
Yep.
That TV series was bad though. Have you seen it?
No, never seen it.
Yo, that Amazon series was terrible. It's not even the same story. It's like they just got a whole bunch of teenagers together. They're living in Hawaii, and then it's like somebody's like going around killing each one of the friends off, but it's not the same.
Oh God, yeah,
Bad, terrible.
yeah.
Oh my.
All right. Number 71. For me, I'm gonna go with the anime film Summer Wars. This one, I remember when I first watched Summer Wars, it was on Tanami's Adult Swim block, and I also had the DVD in, in, in my drawer. And this one is a very good film about the world of Oz, which is basically like an internet world with a lot of avatars, and this and the main hero of the story, he accidentally cracks the code to the world to the world of Oz, which then collides with the real world. So he has to stop. He has to like save the world essentially before the world ends. Like, but basically, it's a doomsday film, and I love the animation. I love the look of the film. It looks like one of those video game X type of film type of aesthetics you see on in many consoles like the Wii, Nintendo Wii, or on the internet. And I love the feel of it. And again, it's a very good film. It mixes action, comedy, drama with touches of romance. And yeah, that's my number 71, Summer Wars.
Nice.
Dope.
Who's next?
You.
You.
Oh, I'm next. I thought I went already.
Yeah. No.
Okay. My next one is what's my next one? Oh, Child's Play. That's my number 71. The OG Child's Play.
Yes.
Ooh.
OG Child's Play from '88.
Yes.
Classic movie. That is still my favorite one in the franchise. I love some of the sequels, but not all of them. But that is still my favorite one because Chucky he didn't have a lot of lines in that film. It was more violent, I think, and just having like the story of like this little boy named Andy wanting forgot the name of the doll. What's the name of the doll again? He wanted like one of them like look like dolls or whatever. And he ended up getting one, and in the doll was like Charles Lee Ray. He was a killer, and he knew like how to do voodoo and stuff, and he put his soul into the doll before he got killed. He had like a shootout with like a cop, and I think Chris Sarandon was the cop in that film.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting killed in a shootout, and his soul went into the doll forever. So anytime you see a Chucky film, that is Charles Lee Ray spirit in the doll, and it was just a great film. You know what I'm saying? It had a good story behind it. There wasn't no wackiness going on in it, and there wasn't too many characters. It was just like Andy and his mom and the cop that was trying to kill this evil doll. And what turned out to be one film ended up turning to be a whole bunch of other films. We got a TV show now. They're on like season 3 of Child's Play of Chucky on the USA channel. I like the TV series because it goes back to the origins, but my favorite is the first one. I know people favorite. I've heard people say Child's Play 2 was great. Child's Play 3 was also one of my favorites. Also, when Andy goes off to boarding school and he was like more older in that film, and I love that one. Bride of Chucky was good too, but the first one for me is always gonna be my favorite.
Dope picks.
Yeah.
My number 71 is The Cable Guy.
That's Summer Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said Cable Guy?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I think Red's picking some trashy films right now.
I know you're not gonna say that movie is trash.
Yeah. You really love these films that you picking?
Whoa.
Like Hancock and Cable Guy. And
Cable Guy is one of the Jim Carrey's most best movies.
Okay.
Oh my.
I don't like all his songs. I like some of his songs.
Wow.
The Grinch. I like him as the Grinch. I thought he was great as the
Yes,
Grinch.
I love that film.
Yeah. You didn't like the Grinch?
I like the cartoon better.
What?
His performance, his performance was good. What? I like the cartoon. The
Like
cartoon
the
is
old
really
one,
good.
the old Grinch show.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's an American classic.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You're a mean one, Mister. That's like the first diss song ever.
Oh my God.
That's literally like the first diss song.
So
Or one of the
who's
first.
dissing? A whole town? Who is dissing?
No, the motherfucker made a song about the Grinch. That's a diss song against the Grinch and shit.
Oh man.
That's like one of the first diss songs.
Yes, so,
Yo, I'm surprised Puffy didn't sample that shit.
right?
Wow.
Don't give him ideas.
Don't give him ideas.
Before
I don't
you go to
think it's
jail,
gonna-
you might.
I don't think he's gonna make music anytime soon. I think that R&B album might be the last one.
Well,
But
I don't think he ever made
God.
music. He just put his name on the music. You know.
This stars Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much about Jim Carrey playing this cable installer who just gets addicted to Matthew Broderick's character and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy too because no one really talks about the Jim Carrey movie, in my personal opinion.
That's no good. That's why. They don't like it like
Mind
that.
you, it was directed by Ben Stiller too.
Oh wow.
Believe it or not,
Well, Ben Stiller should have started it instead.
I disagree.
Yeah.
This was
You don't
definitely
like
Jim
Ben
Carrey.
Stiller?
I like Ben Stiller. I like Ben Stiller. He's dope. But Jim Carrey is a different breed.
Oh boy.
Now, granted, is it as good as the dominant three, which is Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumber and Dumber? Absolutely
and
not.
True Love.
But this is still quintessential Jim Carrey.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. Cable Guy again and see. 'Cause I didn't.
Okay. I might review it this spring.
Oh Lord.
Number 70. I'm gonna have to go with Scream 1996.
Nice.
That one, the iconic Drew Barrymore scene,
Mm-hmm.
and this was directed by Kevin Williamson. This movie to me kind of like, okay, you had slasher films like Friday the 13th and all them other slasher films. So this one kind of redefined truer, like in a sense, truer slasher films with like suspense and a
Right.
twist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like this movie. The like some of the sequels, they're hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is always going to be my top favorite of all the sequels.
Oh.
My number 70 is The Aristocats
Yes.
from 1970. And this was directed by Wolfgang Reitherman. And love this film a lot. I love the music. The music within this film is very jazzy. And I just love the whole look of the film where it looks like a painting coming to life.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I see Wolfgang Reitherman's films. Like they're like a painting coming to life, similar to Don Blues as well. And I love how funny it is. I love how romantic it is, especially between Duchess and Thomas O'Malley. Especially that song, Thomas O'Malley, one of my favorite songs. Next to why should I worry? But with Billy Joel, Bare Necessities, and a whole new world from Aladdin. And Yeah, that's my number 70 is the Aristocats.
Go.
Nice. All right. I keep forgetting I'm next. My next one. What we up to? 70?
69.
7. We up to 69?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, no,
70.
never mind. 70, 70.
70 for me is House Party.
Oh,
The first one, the
yes.
first House Party. I love House Party.
Yes.
I went to see it when I was 13 in theaters. It's classic. And we talked about the soundtrack last week, and just this, having Kid and Play in the movie as their first time ever been in the movie, and having Martin Lawrence and Darryl Chill in that film, and Robin Harris, the late great Robin Harris, the comedian, full force. It was just a great ensemble cast. John Witherspoon, rest in peace. He had a cameo in it also, and just a great story of like kid, being bullied in school, which wasn't really talked about for this movie. Being bullied by full force characters in that film, and Play was like his cool friend that threw a house party, and all kind of hijinks and stuff ensued when they had the house party, and the soundtrack was classic, and again another great hip hop film with a good storyline, and it was great. Like that's my favorite one. Like part 2 I love, but part 1 to me is still the best.
Dope pick.
Respect.
All right, number 69.
Hold on. I didn't go.
Oh, my bad.
You good, boss. My number 70 is Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Oh my God.
What?
You really picked that. You really picked that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Y'all don't like, yo, what the fuck?
I don't like it. I love the soundtrack. I don't care for the movie.
Soundtrack is good. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But the movie is iconic. It was a parody on hood movies. It stars Sean and Marlon.
Yeah.
Sean played this nigga named Ashtray, and Marlon played Lope Dog. It's pretty much like parody movies like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Poetic Justice. The storyline don't make sense, but at the same time, it's funny as hell. Some of my favorite scenes had a late great Bernie Mac, a black cop that hates black people. Then you have a motherfucking Hotep nigga that pretty much is loves white women. And then you have Ashtray's father, played by Lamar Tate, who was Lorenz Tate's brother, and everything like that too. Who's supposed to be like, he's only a couple years older than him, because in Boys in the Hood, they had Trey when he was like a teenager and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this is a classic movie. It's pretty much the 90s version of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, if that makes sense. Another one of Tri's favorites.
No, it ain't.
It's potential. Let's see. Where we at? We at number 69. Okay.
My favorite number.
I'm gonna have to go with underrated Sylvester Stallone movie, Nighthawks.
Ooh.
This also stars Billy D. Williams and
yes,
Power.
One of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah, this is a very good action year. You know what I'm saying? And very underrated. Stallone definitely did his thing in that one. Everybody, very good casting, and good action. It wasn't over the top, so I loved it.
Number 69 for me is the DreamWorks Quentin Tarantino-esque film, The Bad Guys. Yep. And this one is a very different film from your average DreamWorks film, where this one is a crime heist film where it's about the bad guys, essentially, where they they're on a mission to reform, like they're trying to reform themselves because society saw them as, the bad guys, where where society has had hold a lot of prejudice prejudice against them, where wolves are bad, snakes are bad, sharks are bad. So they so and because of that, they turn into the bad guys because of how society judged them. And but they start to realize that they want to reform themselves. So under the tutelage of Professor Marmalade, they're on a mission, just to be good. So, and I love the animation of it as well. It has that comic book feel to it, like similar to Spider-Man Into the Verse, where that film also had that comic book style to it. And yeah, it's a very good film as well. So that's my number 69, The Bad Guys.
All right, 69 for me is DC's Dawn of Justice, Batman vs Superman,
Oh
classic
God.
film. Zack Snyder, director, one of the best directors out right now. I loved it. Now the problem with this film was Warner Brothers meddling in the film and re-editing the film, and they screwed it up because it could have made like $1 billion, and they had a habit of doing that with their films, and which I didn't like. But the story wise, it was good, and it was like the first time we see both Batman and Superman on screen together. They were fighting, they were at odds before, and they come together to fight, a bigger evil, a bigger threat to the world with Lex Luger, who was like a nemesis for Superman in the comics and all that, and he wants the mother boxes to it's a whole bunch of shit going on. If you're not into comics, you're not gonna understand, but he needs these things called mother boxes, and he ends up creating Doomsday, which was another Superman villain in the comics, and Doomsday kills Superman. They got to bring him back to life in the Justice League, the other film after that, and but it was the first time we saw, like, for comic book fans, that we saw Batman and Superman together on screen for the first time ever, and that was a groundbreaking thing at that time. And Henry Cavill, I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think they should have kept him. I don't know why they decided to reboot Superman again for the 100th time, which was dumb. I love Ben Affleck as Batman, and he left because he had alcohol issues or whatever. So they rebooted Batman with Robert Pattinson. Now we see how that's gonna go. And you had Gail Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's in the film, and it was just a Jesse Eisenberg played Lex Luger. He was in the Social Network a couple years ago, and he was great as Lex Luger. And I love the film. I just thought the editing and the meddling from the movie studios what ruined it. You know what I'm saying? Like because there's like a 3-hour cut of the film, which the theater version is only like 2.5 hours. I saw the theater version in the theater, but when you get the 4K or the Blu-ray, they have an extended edition, because you see all the stuff that they cut out of the film in the theater version, which was, again, Warner Brothers being meddling, and they ruin their own films. You know what I'm saying? I love Zack Snyder's move. DCU, like Man of Steel was great, and this one, and then like the Snyder cut, which was like 4 hours long, that they didn't want to put out. They ended up putting it out on HBO Max. That was a classic. So that's my number 69.
Dope shit. My number 69 is Sausage Party.
That was a good film. I don't think it was. I don't think kids should have saw it though.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a kid movie.
Yeah, but they promoted it like it was a kids film.
I still don't understand why parents would still take them.
I remember when I first saw the trailer, I'm just like, what kind of shit? And it was genius. The trailer was genius.
Yeah,
Because it started out like a vibe of like a DreamWorks kind of movie, but then all of a sudden, when the food starts getting eaten, it just becomes a whole different story. To me, this is like a food equivalent to Toy Story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The story is that even a story? It pretty much it stars the sausage that's portrayed by Seth Rogen and everything like that too, who discovers the truth what happened to the groceries after they get purchased. So he tries to stop his friends. He tries to stop his friends from being bought by people who want to eat them and shit like that too. So it's a very raunchy movie. It's actually the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time and everything like
Really?
that too. So yeah.
Really?
Oh, excuse me, the highest grossing R-rated animated movie of
Oh, I'm
all
about
time.
to say, I'm like that.
And until Demon Slayer Mugen Train.
I didn't see
But
Oh,
that.
the anime Demon Slayer.
right.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a classic movie.
Wow.
Oh, all
Kids
right.
don't watch that.
All
If you do, don't watch it with your parents.
Right?
Yeah. Or just, or if you have kids, tell them to put on Care Bears for them.
Yeah.
That
Ew.
will probably hypnotize them.
Mm-hmm.
right. So my number 68. I'm gonna switch this to a TV movie. Movie from back in the day. It's called Lethal Air, or it's known as Mother's Day. This one stars Denise Nicholas, Malcolm Jamal Warner's in this one. Um, this one came out in 1989. So basically, like in the beginning, yeah, this these three guys who meet up with this drug dealer who is played by Malcolm Jamal Warner. Um, so he stabs one of the guys and stuffs like that. Takes off, and you see now like back at home, you see like Denise Nicholas and the family. They're like talking and stuff like that, and then next thing Michael Jamal Warren's character, he comes home. Well, he comes home at this point from work, but he gets arrested, and he swears up and down he didn't cause the stabbing and all that stuff. But it does have a. I don't. If you guys watch it, I don't want to spoil it too much. But it does have a twist though.
Right.
But all I'm gonna say is that basically Denise Nicholas, she sets out to like prove her son's innocence, and it's a very good movie, movie with a twist. I didn't even see it coming.
Okay.
My number 68 has to go to one of my favorite cartoons that I've seen on Cartoon Network, and it's Ed and Eddie, the big picture show.
Dope.
Yep. And this one, this is how you do a great finale to a cartoon, to a cartoon show, and I just love how won't I won't spoil nothing, but I love how it resolved the issues that were in the show, particularly when it comes to a certain character, and pretty much the whole film is about the Eds. They and their scam and go haywire as usual. But this time, instead of the kids being annoyed, they're downright pissed, and so so pretty much the whole movie is all about them going on a journey to find Eddie's you know Eddie's brother, and Yeah, it's a very dope, a very dope film, TV film, and a very good way to end a show like Ed, and Eddie. So yeah, that's my number 68.
All right, number 68 for me is Love Jones
Yeah.
with Lawrence Tate, Neil Long. A nice, again, a perfect black cinema film where it's a true love story, and they talking about Darius and Nina. And Darius is a writer, he's a poet, and Nina's a photographer, and they meet up at this Chicago nightclub and end up bonding and have like a love affair thing going on, but they're not tied to each other yet. And Darius wants more, and Nina is kind of skeptical. Her friends are skeptical of Darius. His friends are skeptical of Nina, and they bond over like music and poetry and photography. I just thought it was great. Like that's something we don't see now with black couples. You know what I'm saying? We don't have movies like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought it was like a positive, love story with two black, people, and the soundtrack was great. And you had Lisa Carson. She played Nina's friend, her best girlfriend in that, and just a great cast and a great story and when Nina gets a job offer in New York and she goes to New York and Darius wants her back, and I just thought it was a classic love story.
Now that's a love story
Yeah.
compared to other movies you mentioned.
Oh, chill.
Yeah, Lord.
That's a dope pick.
Yeah. Thanks.
So my number 68 is Independence Day.
Okay.
Classic.
Finally, and now a movie me and Try agrees on. I
Right,
see.
for once.
Well, you did like Sausage Party.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. It stars Will Smith as he returns to this countdown in this episode. Pretty much, this is the movie that transitioned Will Smith successfully to a movie star. Like, Bad Boys was good, but this was a movie like right. And this movie came out in the summer of '96, like about 2 months after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ended,
Mhm.
and it's pretty much him trying to save the world and everything like that too from a new alien race and everything. It has Vivica A. Fox is in this movie, Bill Pullman, Judd Hirsch, Mary McDonnell. This was a very great movie. They did do a sequel. I didn't really care too much for the sequel to Keep the Buck with You. You know what I'm saying? But this
Yeah,
this is a classic.
sequel
You
was
said what?
terrible. The sequel was bad. Terrible.
Oh God, you talking about that Independence Day? Was
Yeah.
it Virgins or something like that?
Yeah, no Will Smith, and they mentioned him, but he had like they put in like somebody to play his son, and it was like the rehash of part one. Everything that happened in part one, they did it over. I'm like, this is terrible.
Oh
It's
wow.
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Number 67. And this is a movie that not a lot of people know about. And this is, I think, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated movies of the 90s. It's a movie called Bad Influence.
I heard of that movie.
This one stars James Spader and Rob Lowe. Now, there's a backstory to this one. So this was filmed. This started filming a little bit in 1989, but because Rob Lowe got into some trouble with the law, this kind of like halt production for a little bit. Yeah, so let's just say he had sex with an underage girl and had to do hours of community service.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. He has sex with underage girl and all he gets is community service. Are you
Pretty
fucking
much.
kidding me?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because look, he was a big back then. Well, he still is, but If not okay, now if we
Free R.
did
Kelly.
something like that, then we would have got time in jail. I'm
Free
just
R.
gonna keep it
Kelly.
a bug.
Yep.
Oh God, yeah, we would have got time in jail. We would got plenty of time in jail.
Facts.
R. Kelly, prime example. But when Rob Lowe, mind you, this was 1989, and this was the height of his career. He gets a slap on the wrist for community service. Okay,
That's unbelievable.
right,
Why they not dragging his ass right now?
right. Make that make sense. But yeah, this is a movie that revived his his career. That and he was also in Wayne's World, but yeah. So yeah, so Rob Lowe this time, he plays a bad guy. He plays a crazy guy, and James Spader, he plays the yuppie good guy. Now it's almost like a switch because James Spader usually plays the asshole like type in certain movies, and then Rob Lowe plays the good guy. But in this case, it's almost like they switched places.
Right.
But this was a very good thriller. This was directed by Curtis Hanson, who also did L.A. Confidential. So this also has a great soundtrack too. So yeah, this is my number 67.
All right. My number 67 goes to Aladdin.
Ooh.
Yep. The OG Aladdin from 1992. No introduction, just enough said. Like the animation, enough said. The music, enough said. The voice acting, enough said. Just everything about this film is just great from beginning to end. Just I love the magic. I love the characters. I love the action, the romance. Just everything about this film that just screams just Disney greatness from the 90s. So that's my number 67, Aladdin.
67. I got the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
Yeah.
Classic film, and it stars Elias Cotis. Was Casey Jones was like one of their friends, and Judith Hogue played April O'Neil. Corey Feldman played the voice of Donatello. But this is like the OG one where they actually had to dress up in the turtle costumes, and it was real gritty. Had a real gritty cinematography for it for New York City at that time, and the story of the turtles. 4 turtles, they fall in a sewer drain, and they got mutated with like ooze that turned them into like talking turtles, and they were teens, and they have a talking rat named Splinter who he knew karate. Splinter took them in and raised them, and he taught them karate, and their enemy was Shredder, and later on in the animated show was Krang, and it was just a great film, and them having to take on Shredder and the Foot Clan in this version of the film was just great, and I love it. I think it's still, to me, my favorite one. It's the one that I grew up on. So yeah, that was a classic.
Dope pick.
Thanks.
Very dope pick.
Yeah.
My number 67 is Devil in a Blue Dress, 1995.
Ooh.
This stars Denzel Washington, Tom Sizemore, Jennifer Beals, Don Cheadle, who, I'm not going to hold you, this might be the only movie that anybody outshined Denzel, and that's Don Cheadle, in my personal opinion. So, not a lot of people know about this movie from Denzel. It pretty much stars him as this war veteran who becomes who messes with this white girl after he comes back, and we all know how that shit can go, and pretty much she gets murdered and he gets framed for her murder. One thing I loved about this movie is a very noir movie, and if you guys know what that means, like back in the day, them detective movies, motherfuckers like doing monologues in their head and shit like that. Like
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yep,
film noir.
film noir, yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Even shows do that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Certain shows have that feeling and everything like that too. So this is a very artistic movie. And I feel like this movie deserves more love. You seen that movie, Troy?
I saw that a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic. Man.
Mhm.
I need to rewatch that one. But, what we number 66, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to go with Hustle and Flow.
Nice.
You know it's hard out here.
Yeah, great soundtrack. Terrence Howard. Well, okay, so they say that a lot of people say this is Terrence Howard's breakout role. Well, this is his first starring role, but despite being in other films, you know what I'm saying? Um, this is where he got his first and only Oscar nomination. This also stars Taraji Acrimony P. Henson. I'm not gonna go there.
Mm.
And Anthony Anderson's also in this one. This was one of the best. Terrence Howard. This was like a 1-2 punch. He also did Crash, which I thought he should have also got nominated for the Oscar. In that this was his year. You know what I mean? And yeah, a pimp turned rapper, which that's I don't think that's even been done before.
Right.
It has.
I think
It has.
really.
Yeah. Ice T was a pimp and Sugar Free was a pimp too.
Uh, so yeah, yeah, this was a very very dope movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 66. I'm gonna go with The Grudge. And love this movie, and you know me, I, I, I love Japanese horror films when they're done right, and this movie is how you do a Japanese horror film. Like, it's very creepy, it's very atmospheric, and I love the design of Kayako and Toshio, the mother and the son, and how they were both killed by their father, by Toshio's father, and it's a very dark story, and it stars Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was also in the film Scooby Doo as well, and I just love the whole look of the film. Like, it's very creepy. It's got that old Japanese. It's like an old Japanese like ghost tale story. So I love this film. Like, that's my number 66, The Grudge.
All right. 66 for me is Under the Red Hood, Batman animated movie. I love it. It's more like it tells the story of the second Robin, Jason Todd. He gets killed by Joker before Batman arrives, and we think that he's dead and gone, but he comes back as the Red Hood, a vigilante. He takes crime into his own hands in Gotham City, and Batman has to find out who who was this Red Hood that people's talking about. And I thought it was, to me, it's one of the best animated Batman films ever. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a classic, and the comic book was great as well.
What year did that come out?
2010.
Got you. Okay. Mine, we got 67, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. 66.
66. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 66 is the Beef documentary.
Okay.
The first one.
Right.
This is one of the best hip hop documentaries I've ever seen. it pretty much, if you guys are familiar with the Beef series, it tells a story about beefs in the hip hop industry, narrated by Ving Rhames. You know what I'm saying? In this edition, they talked about the Bridge Wars, Kumo D versus Busy B, 50 versus Murder Inc., True Life versus Mob Deep. Um, then they talk about the NWA beef on this one too. You know what I'm saying? Tupac versus Biggie. I love this one. It definitely has a very grimy feel to it and everything. Even though Beef 2 is my personal favorite, this one is just a seminal classic for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 65, we're gonna go way back with the Defiant Ones, the OG one with Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis.
Nice.
This one, this was one of Sidney Poitier's and Tony Curtis, one of their best performances. I know they did like a couple of different TV movies, which I don't think is touching the original. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely a very good movie.
We're at number 60. Okay, number 65. I'm also going to take it way back to the 30s with this one, and we're going to go with one of the first Disney films that's ever been made, and it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh,
Yep,
Nice.
classic film. Everyone, the mama knows it, and if you're, yeah, and I just enjoyed the story. Like, yes, the story is like a Disney-fied version of the Brother Grimm's tale, but again, considering it's Disney, I just love the film, love the animation, love the music. I love just the whole um the the old witch, and well, yeah, the villain who turns into the old witch, and it's just a very magical film. So that's my number 65, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
65 for me is Harlem Nights, classic film. Eddie Murphy and the late great Della Reese and Red Fox and Tommy from Martin. He was in it, and Arsenio, Richard Pryor. Just a great cast, and it's like a black gangster film, and you have like Quick. Eddie Murphy played Quick. He was like he was like the adopted son of Richard Pryor's character, and Richard Pryor played Sugar Ray, and he had his own club named Sugar Ray, and this was like he was going at another gangster, Bugsy Calhoun. He had his own club, the Pity Pat Club, and Bugsy didn't like the fact that Sugar Ray was getting more money at his club than his, and he was doing some underhanded shit, to mess up their whole business, and then Quick ends up falling for Bugsy's woman, Dominique LaRue, and Jasmine God played Dominique, and it was just great, man. Like the whole cast was great, the story was great, and I think it's a classic gangster film.
Sweet.
Yeah.
My number 65 is Waiting to Exhale.
Nice.
Dope.
Starring the late great Whitney Houston, Angela Bassett, who finally won an Oscar award.
Right.
She should have won one years ago, but that's another story for a different day.
yeah.
Leela Vachon, very underrated actress, and Loretta Devine. This was like a groundbreaking movie because it centered a lot of like 4 black women dealing with like their relationships with their men and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold you. I've seen this movie a few times in full, but I do recognize the impact this movie has made and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? This is a movie about black women done right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because over the years, there's been certain movies that don't portray a lot of black women in the best light and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely love how they all had each other's back. I feel like that's really the strength. I think all of the actors and actresses in this movie definitely laid a foundation. The soundtrack was very good too. Babyface did his thing with the score and the production on the soundtrack. Forrest Whitaker, this is actually his directorial debut too.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people know that. So this is a very great movie.
That's a dope pick.
Appreciate it.
My number 64. Nobody has heard this movie before. I don't even think. I don't even think my own mother heard this movie before. It's a movie called Tough Turf. Came out in 1985.
Wait, what's it called?
Tough Turf came out in
Tough
19.
Tip.
Yeah, Tough Turf. TURF.
Never heard it. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Me neither.
yeah. This one stars James Spader. In a young Robert Downey Jr. is in this one too. This one, this one has that West Side kind of like West Side Story esque type film, like where James Spader's character, he's new to this school, and he meets I know, yeah, he meets this girl, but the problem is the girl is with this gang leader. So they go at conveniently they go to the same like club one night, and they were dancing and stuff, and you knew on sight they liked each other, but that problem is she has a boyfriend. So boyfriend's in this like gang or whatnot. So it's like I said, West Side Story slash 1980s teen. So
Okay.
yeah.
We're on City 4.
Yeah, 64. Yeah.
All right. Um, my number 64. I'm gonna go with a Disney film that is so underrated, and it is in the late '80s. Um, None other than my favorite film, Oliver and Company.
I knew
Ooh,
you would say that.
ooh.
Yeah, very a very stepped on film, and there's no and I just love this film to death. Like the soundtrack, "Why Should I Worry" by Billy Joel. Um, pretty pretty isn't easy by Betty Milder, and the whole film is very fun to watch. And while the story may seem simple, but what carries this film is the characters and the voice acting from Joey Lawrence, Billy Joel,
Oh.
Natalie Gregory, Chet Marin, Betty Milder, Robert Loggia, Richard Mulligan, Roscoe Lee Brown, and Shirley Ralph. So a very good cast, and uh, and a very good film too. Very uh, underrated and underappreciated. So that's my number 64, Oliver and Company.
Dope.
All right, 64 for me is Jurassic Park,
Nice.
classic Steven Spielberg film. And it was a huge blockbuster when that came out in '93, and it's more like they got like these scientists trying to clone dinosaur DNA, and shit went haywire, and they end up coming to life like the old dinosaur bones of T-Rex and the Brontosaurus and the raptors, and they had like a DNA a Jurassic an amusement park for like the public and for kids, and that was their whole dream, was to have this park that with these dinosaurs contained, and shit went haywire, and it was just crazy after that, and it spawned a whole bunch of sequels and prequels and stuff. And my first one to me is it was always gonna be the classic one. Though.
Yeah. The first Jurassic Park is the best one.
Yeah,
Like,
This movie right here, my number 64, is a personal classic of mine. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 1971. Yeah. One of my all-time favorite movies of all time. This was directed by Mel Stewart. It was based on the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know, this is the OG that stars Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. You know, it has Jack Albertson, whom you guys should know. He was also on Chico and the Man with the late great Freddie Prinze. You know what I'm saying? It tells a story about this boy named Charlie, who was played by Peter Armstrong, which was on his only acting role, believe it or not.
no.
You know, his only acting role. It stars this boy named Charlie, who was very poor and everything, and then they're given this chocolate company called Wonka's giving away chocolate bars, and whoever has the golden ticket pretty much gets access to see the chocolate factory, which was owned by the mysterious Willy Wonka. A lot of crazy shit starts happening. You meet the Oompa Loompas, you know what I'm saying? You said what?
That whole story, the way you told it, just sound creepy. On the golden ticket, and you go to the chocolate factory. Oh,
Well, how do you want me to explain it?
it just sounds like real predatory, a real predatory story.
No.
Oh, man.
Man. Anyway, this movie has like a cult following because when it first came out, it earned a $4 million on the box office, which a $3 million budget, which it technically still did good. Technically, you know what I'm saying? It did probably like a little moderately successful, but over the years when the movie got released on VHS and everything, and TV started broadcast, that's when it became more of a cult classic. And there's one scene I love. It's the motherfucking boat ride when, first of all, I love the music and shit. The soundtrack is amazing. But the boat ride was when, you really saw, like, it was all a happy dappy scene. But when you go in the tunnel, you get all these psychedelic images, fucking animals' heads getting cut off, and worms swimming on people's face. And then, little trivia, Gene Wilder, he pretty much scared the kids when he did that little monologue and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what scene I'm talking about and shit. It's a classic scene.
For kids.
Right. This nigga said, and the train keeps on rolling.
Oh boy.
And the train.
Jeez. Oh man. Number 63. Purple Rain.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Prince.
Yes,
My favorite Prince.
Yes, classic. Classic story. Acting was good. Soundtrack, enough said.
Right.
Mm-hmm. My number 63 is another TV movie, and it's another South Park movie, and it's South Park Imagination Land.
Dope.
Yep. Similar to Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, this is also a very funny TV movie, considering the fact that the whole film is about, the whole kids that they go to Imagination Land, and they have to like save the world, essentially. And I also love the subplot where Cartman bet Kyle to suck his genitals
Wow.
if he believed that the leprechaun is real.
Wow.
The shit they put in cartoons, yo.
Right.
You know what?
The stuff they put in cartoons.
Yeah, like what Yako said from Animaniacs, the stuff they're getting away with these days.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's my number 63, South Park Imagination Land.
63 for me is the show, the hip hop documentary movie, and that came out like 90, was it 94 that came out, 95? And the just a great behind the scenes look at like some of the artists at that time that was, you know, just starting their careers, like Warren G. You had like a young Warren G in that documentary, and when his first album came out and he was on tour with his artists, and yeah, Wu-Tang Clan, they were on tour, and you know, they had like that iconic scene, that argument with You God and Method Man on the bullet train, and you know, you God, I felt like You God was low key jealous of Method Man at that time, you know, and you had Naughty by Nature was in it, Onyx, Biggie. It was like a concert movie also, because Biggie was like performing on that, and just a great documentary for hip hop.
And that's right.
Yeah.
My number 63 is Grease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a musical. How surprising. Starring the late great Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. You know, this movie takes place in the 1950s, summer of 58 to be exact. And then this boy named Danny Zuko falls in love with this sophisticated Australian named Sandy Olsen. And then Sandy ends up going to Danny's school and everything like that. And she pretty much gets to know the real Danny and stuff. And he's with his friend because he's a fucking asshole. Fucking, you can tell this movie was like influenced by like Happy Days, because you know at that time Happy Days was like one of the most popular shows at the time.
Right.
Indeed.
And both was on Paramount too, so you can definitely tell. 'Cause I think, if I'm not mistaken, Henry Winkler was offered the role of Danny Zuko. I could be wrong, but he declined it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to be typecast as Fonzie's.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
And now he's on that show Barry. He won an Emmy, I think, years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the music is pretty cool. The music is pretty good and stuff like that. You know, the casting. You had another Taxi alum next to Judd Hirsch, Jeff Conaway in this movie. A little trivia too. You know, the song Summer Lovin', that was actually sung by Jeff Conaway and Marilu Henner, both from Taxi.
Oh,
And that was actually played in an episode of Taxi. You know, sorry, Try. But
God damn it.
yeah, this is
wow.
you said what? You said what?
He said, God damn it.
You know, six degrees of Taxi, man.
Right?
He said, why Brad bring out
Yeah, why'd you bring that up?
That's your favorite show. That's your
No
favorite.
way. What is people?
Had Dinah Manoff also was in the movie. You know, Diddy Khan, Stockard Channing. Yeah, this is a classic movie.
I thought you said Diddy Kong. Oh, man.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, I had to throw that Taxi reference just to mess with Trash.
So my number 62. I'm gonna have to go with Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Oh.
Yeah, a good movie in this Hollywood years.
Yeah, yeah. Now, sure, this movie is dopey, cheesy. But come on, like you have Tiamat playing what is his name? Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, he was.
You got you got Vanity, uh Julius Carey, who plays Shonuff. Um yeah, this I I'm not gonna hold you. When I first saw this film, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell am I watching?
You didn't like it.
I actually, you know what? I had a lot of fun with the movie.
Oh no, okay, never mind.
I had a lot of fun with the movie because I went into real low expectations. I thought I wasn't gonna like this film, but it actually turned out to be one of my favorite films to watch. So it's like whenever I feel sad or whatever, I'll turn this film on. Which, by the way, I need to get this on 4K. It's out now, but yeah. So
And
yeah, this
after City 3?
that's we're on 62.
City 2, okay.
Yeah.
All right. My number 62 will have to go to The Lion King.
Mm.
Yep, the OG Lion King. Not Simba's Pride, not 1.5, but the OG Lion King. And this one, no introduction. The animation, no said. The characters, no said. The voice acting, no said. The action, the suspense, the thriller, the comedy, no said. Everyone did their A game. Simba, Mufasa, Timon, Pumbaa, the hyenas, just everybody did their thing. They all had a very dope role. And it's a very good take on the William Shakespeare's Hamlet story. So that's my number 62, the OG Lion King.
Dope.
Classic.
Yeah.
62 for me is The Wizard of Oz from 1939.
Ooh.
Judy Garland plays Dorothy, and with her dog Toto, they get whisked away in a tornado from Kansas to the land of Oz, and they got to meet the good witch, and then they meet the bad witch, and the scarecrow, the lion, and the Tin Man, and just
The lion. The lion.
Yeah, I said the lion. The lion,
Okay.
the Tin Man. Just an epic adventure, and it's timeless. I love it.
Dope.
Yes, timeless film.
Oh, that was my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 62 is Uptown Saturday Night.
Yes.
This was directed and stars Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby. Also has Harry Belafonte, rest in peace to him, and Sidney Poitier. This also has Flip Wilson, Richard Pryor, Paula Carey, Roscoe Lee Brown. Man, this movie had all these niggas in, like, bro. The Bill Cosby. Mike, let me ask you a question.
What up?
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, or Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier?
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna be a little biased because I haven't seen a lot of Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, but I'm gonna go with as of right now. I'm gonna go with Bill Cosby and Sidney.
Okay. What about you, Troy?
He's muted.
Yeah,
Brother
Sidney is good.
Okay, cool. That's kind of hard for me though, because these are two of the best comedy duos of that time and shit like that. But I think for the edge, I'm gonna have to go with Pryor and Gene Wilder, because Pryor is the best stand-up comedian ever. Like I gotta go with my bias and shit.
Boy.
But you said what? Oh, I thought you said something. But yeah, this movie, it's a classic movie. It tells a story about how these guys named Steve and Wardell, they're held up by some robbers and stuff like that, and they won a lottery. They won a good lottery ticket worth $50,000, so they have to get that shit back, and they have to go through all these comedic misfortunes. and everything. And the movie was actually one of the highest grossing movies of that year too.
I could
You
see
know what
that.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it pretty much was like a good alternate to the whole black exploitation because around that time, black exploitation movie was kind of, I want to say going downhill just yet. It wasn't as popular as like the early '70s and everything like that too. Because when people at that time, people looked at black exploitation the same way niggas look at Tubi movies now. If that makes sense, degrading the black people and it shows blacks in a negative light. But now these days, motherfuckers quoting shit from Superfly and Shaft, and but that's another story for a different day. I don't know if people are gonna quote anything from these Tubi movies because it's like anybody can make a Tubi movie now and shit, and that's another story for a different day. But yeah, this is definitely probably my favorite movie. My favorite movie out of the Cosby and Portier series.
Very dope pick.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, those need a major like 4K release. I if they were to come out with that, they all they need to do is come out with the whole set of just
Oh,
those three movies. First day, I'm buying it.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon because
No, oh
you
no,
know what? that's
right,
that's all I'm gonna say. You know what?
right, man. At least do it for Sidney Poitier. Jeez.
Right.
All right. So number 61, Death Wish, the OG 1974. This one stars Charles Bronson, and this was like the start of like vigilante movies. You know what I'm saying? This was like the staple.
Right.
Charles Bronson, he definitely did his thing. Um, this was directed by Michael Winner, and this was based on a novel, believe it or not. So this has a 4K, which I do own in my possession. So I'm gonna see what the 4K looks like, but I can't wait to tap into that. But yep, that's my number 61.
Did you like the reboot with Bruce?
Hell no,
I didn't like it.
I did not. That was trash.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
thank you for it.
No.
Yo, Mike. I'm sending you some dope shit so far.
Okay.
My number 61, we have to go with the horror classic Carrie.
Nice.
Ooh,
Hmm.
wee.
Yep, one of the
That's
best horror films of the 70s. A very sad story about a girl who got bullied and abused by pretty much everybody from her friends to her mother, and she also has ESP powers or telekinesis, and it's also a story about how about teenhood, adolescence, and puberty as well. And I love just the cinematography. I love Sissy Spacek. He did an excellent job
Yeah.
um, portraying this awkward, socially inept young girl named Carrie, and she pulled it off very well.
Hmm.
And I also love how this is one of the first films where the alpha bitch gets what she deserves.
Yep.
And you know who I'm referring to, Chris.
Mhm.
Yes. So Carrie is my number 61.
Very dope.
So 61 for me is the Karate Kid OG.
Woo.
Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, classic from '84, and this movie made me want to take karate after I watched it. And it's another one of those movies where the kid got bullied. He moved from Jersey to Cali. Him and his mom moved to Cali, got bullied in school, and his mom took him to a karate dojo, and he meets Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi teaches him karate, but he taught him life lessons also before he taught him karate. And and Miyagi saw how he was getting bullied by Johnny and his crew for Cobra Kai, and he ended up getting revenge on Johnny in the karate tournament, and again another franchise that had sequels and they were great. They have a great TV show with Cobra Kai. I can't wait for the last season to come on, and this was a classic.
That's
Dope.
pick.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Yes.
movies. One of my favorite movies. You know, they're doing I don't know if it's gonna be they're doing another Karate Kid.
Yeah, they're doing another one.
No.
With Jaden Smith.
No,
Hell
he's
no.
not coming back. He's not
Hell
coming back.
He got
Nope.
booted.
No.
I was about to say.
I think they're going to continue the story from Cobra Kai into the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 61 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Classic.
Yeah, this came out in 1937. It's actually the first Disney animated theatrical movie and stuff like that. It's not the first theatrical film that goes to like they had the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck cartoons or whatnot. But this one pretty much is you all know the story about Snow White. A white girl who's a princess falls in love with a prince, don't even know her name, but she falls in love. Stepmom is jealous, wants to kill Snow White, so she hires an assassin. Motherfucker don't want to kill her because she's beautiful. She ends up living with 7 guys and cleans up the house and everything like that too.
7
And
Dwarfs.
then, yeah, you know what I mean. That's the 7 guys, 7 dwarfs guys.
Yeah.
Then the stepmama turns into an evil hag and tricks Snow White to eating an apple, and y'all know where it goes.
Yeah.
For a movie that was released in the 30s and shit, it has a very timeless quality and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's actually broke down the barriers for other Disney movies and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because Walt Disney almost did not release this movie, or he was not confident about this movie.
Wow.
So he was actually nominated for Best Musical Score at the Academy Awards in 1938, but he didn't win that. So the next year, they gave him an honorary Oscar. So,
Oh boy.
and guess who gave him that award?
Michael Jackson?
Now you know damn well Michael Jackson.
I don't know. You actually a good guess. Like who gave it to?
Shirley Temple.
Oh, okay. Lamb chop?
Well, yeah, that's my number 61.
Oh man.
This nigga said Michael Jackson.
That'd be a dream come true.
Right?
Like,
Him?
like, oh man. So I said, well, we going up to 60.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So number 60, last one of the night. It's an underrated Walter Hill film. Not a lot of people. It has a cult following, but movie called Streets of Fire. This one came out in 1984. This one stars Michael Pere, a young what is her name? Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, Amy Madigan. It has like a summer cast. William Dafoe is in this one too. This one's like a rock and roll fable / action. You know what I'm saying? And this was directed by Walter Hill, who directed movies like 48 Hours, The Warriors, those other movies, The Long Riders, classic movies. This one was like under the radar for the longest time. It didn't do well. It didn't really do that great at the box office, but I'm glad that it finally got a 4K, got some 4K attention. So yeah, this is my number 60.
My last one for the night, and this goes to the honorary film, Illuminations, the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Nice.
Yep, love this film, and I love Mario. I love Mario. Like that's my childhood, and I love how this film just pays a lot of homage to those classic Mario games that we grew up playing. Mario Kart, the Super Mario Brothers, just everything. And I love how while the story might not be the strongest, considering the fact that it's just your typical Mario movie, but I love how enjoyable it is. I love um, Mario, Luigi, Bowser was also very good. Princess Peach, um, love her as well. Toad, they were all very good in this film, and yeah. So that's my last one for the night. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, the 2023 version.
All right. Last one for me is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, number 60.
Oh,
Great film. I remember going to see this when I was a little kid, and the hype behind it, and the merchandising, and just it wasn't a character, animated character that I knew. So it was like just going in to watch it was just different, and you had the late great Bob Hoskins. He was like a private eye, and this was like a mix of live action with animated, and having Roger Rabbit was like him and his wife Jessica Rabbit. They were like some big tune stars, and there was like a murder in Toontown, and the villain was played by Christopher Lloyd. He was Judge Doom.
Another
And
taxi reference.
One of the one of the best
Mhm.
villains in that film.
yeah, it was a great film done right with live action and animated, animation. It was classic.
That's also my favorite film too.
Yeah,
Dope.
And Jessica Rabbit still sexy to this very day.
right.
I think that's like everyone's cartoon crush at this point.
Yeah,
You Cartoon Crush,
next to cartoon. Yeah, next to Betty Boop.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know she was originally a black girl, right?
Was she?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Was she also 16?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Well,
Values dissonance.
I guess it ends with me. My number 60 is Throw Mama from the Train.
Wow.
Okay.
This stars probably the last taxi reference of the night, Danny DeVito and Billy. You said what?
I don't know why you keep doing that. You throwing taxis up.
I'm not even playing this shit.
That's a
How many
that's
That's lying, yo.
did you make?
I'm not even playing this shit.
You didn't plan it. Oh my god.
And Billy Crystal.
mm.
This is actually the first movie Danny DeVito actually directed. Very dope. It's a very dark movie. It tells a story about Danny DeVito, who pretty much hates his mom, and he pretty much was the killer, and then, and so he's also a writer, and he's in this writing class where Billy Crystal's a teacher, and every. I'm sorry. And so that's what he develops a plan that he wants to kill his mom, and he wants to write a story about it and stuff like that too, because he wants it to be like an Alfred Hitchcock-esque kind of film or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So
He's ambitious.
this is a very fucked up movie, but it's a black comedy, at the same time too. You know what I'm saying? This might be one of my favorite movies he directed next to Matilda. So yeah, throw Mama for the
And he don't mean it's a black comedy with black stars. He just means it's a dark comedy.
Crazy kid.
We need to clarify that.
What a crazy kid by that synopsis.
Right.
I broke my leg, man.
That synopsis is so crazy.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh.
Must have a bad childhood.
That's what it is.
Hi. I'm sorry.
Oh man. That I'm not gonna lie, that's a dope choice. I'm not gonna hold you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good. That's good. Oh man. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much our picks as of right now, actually. Wow.
Mhm.
So we down to we about almost halfway. We about halfway done, pretty much, right?
Yep.
All right. So all right. I could probably stay on here for about another 5 minutes, and then just end it off. So you guys have any things coming up?
Subscribe to my channel, Danny Rap Podcast on YouTube. I just dropped the IG live I did last week with Grind Ethics. And we talked about the mixtape era and different mixtapes and stuff. I mean, I'm even showing off some mixtapes in that live stream, so check that out.
Dope.
Me and Try just did a documentary review. We're going to talk about October London's recent album, The Rebirth of Marvin, which I'm kind of worried about that shit. But anyway, we'll talk about that.
For me, February is gonna be the Culture Club Kiss to Be Clever album review.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. As for me, I didn't got much. I don't have much at the very moment, except I probably gonna drop a another out and about movie vinyl pickup. It's not gonna be as big as the last one.
Okay.
It's not gonna be as big. And then I don't know. I might do like a random live stream, maybe between tomorrow and Friday, something like that.
Oh.
So.
Oh, got some shit going on. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will tell y'all this now. When y'all do that what is it, that vinyl collection thing, I got some heat for y'all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yep, definitely. So all right. With that being said, anything else you guys have to say before we end this off?
No, thanks as always for having me as a guest, and
the
movie list is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thank you for having me as a guest as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike.
Y'all got some very good choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got some good choices too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Reg has some very surreal choices. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a menace to South Central. Wow. Wow.
The best is yet to come.
Oh
Okay.
God, that's bad.
Oh man. So, I think I'm gonna end this off right here. I'm gonna end this one off. So I think next Wednesday, if it will, depending on you guys' schedule, I think we're
Yes.
gonna shoot to finish this list and stuff like that.
All right.
So
Well,
I
I should get off at 11. So
11 p.m.
yeah, but
Okay.
I'll keep you updated.
All right. Yeah, keep me updated. Um
Cool.
yeah, so we're gonna shoot for next Wednesday.
All right.
And then yeah, that's all I have for right now.
Cool.
So with that being said, thank you guys for coming on. Shout out to my viewers who's watching this. So, with that being said, we will see you guys in the next live stream.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace.
Y'all be safe.
Out.
Yep.
Be safe.
You too.
Holla.
Be safe.
Peace out.
Peace.